you? Thanks for coming.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing very well. I was thinking about something today, thinking about you coming on the show. It's almost Halloween, a couple of weeks away from Halloween, and I've got to think there's a lot of pressure on you around Halloween. Because when kids ring your bell and you answer the door, it's Stephen King, it's Halloween. If you just give them a Clark bar and say, have a nice evening, it's somehow gone awry. Do you know what I mean? Is there pressure on you to do something kind of crazy or intense?
I hate Halloween.
You hate Halloween? Really? Wow.
I loathe Halloween.
You loathe Halloween? For that reason that I just described?
If I could go to the gulag on Halloween, I probably would, because it used to be we stayed home and thousands of people literally would converge on the house, and we gave out, I don't know how much, and candy and everything else. And we got to the point where we were actually thinking about bringing in fog machines and putting up fake gravestones and everything. And I'm kind of like, hold on here a second. I'm turning into the Halloween Santa Claus. Right.
It just became too much about let's all go to Stephen King's house on Halloween. That's going to be a really fun thing to do.
And, I mean, Santa Claus isn't real, and I am, sort of, so... You know,
Santa Claus might be real. I'm still holding out hope that there's Santa Claus out there.
It could be, you know.
Yeah. I'm curious, did you give so many people nightmares. What about you? Do you get nightmares? Do you ever wake up in the middle of the night, and have you had a really scary, dream?
Pass them on. It's sort of like passing a gallstone.
Right.
You know, just pass them on to other people, and
so
you
give nightmares, but you yourself sleep fine.
It's more blessed to give than receive, Conan. And you know, it's a good thing, because obviously some of the stuff that I've done is fairly twisted.
Right.
And it's the kind of thing like, if you had these fantasies in real life as opposed to my life, you'd go to a shrink.
Right.
And you'd pay $60, $70, $80 for an hour. It's not even a full hour, it's a 50-minute hour. And I get paid for these things, you know?
Right.
It's a great life.
Instead of going to a therapist, you just write it down and people pay a lot of money to read it, which is cool.
Sometimes they go to the movies, even.
Right. Well, let's talk about that, because you were one of the first people to have the idea that a clown could be a scary figure. You actually, in It, which became a movie, you wrote about you created a homicidal clown. It's very effective. Did you find clowns scary when you were a kid?
Well, you know, as a kid going to the circus, there would be like 12 full-grown people that would all pile out of a little tiny car. Their faces were dead white. Their mouths were red as though they were full of blood. They're all screaming. Their eyes are huge. What's not to like, you know? So
why were your clowns screaming? I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I know what you mean. They come out,
you know. So I started to actually look at kids when I grew up a little bit, and I said, you know, kids are all terrified of them, and the parents are all like, aren't the clowns funny, Johnny? And Johnny's like, no, get me the hell out of here. Right. These people are all crazy, because they are monstrous looking, and children are really afraid of them. They do have that sort of monstrous thing going for them.
Did you ever have a personal interaction with a clown that scared you?
Yeah, well, not exactly scared me, but I was on a book tour, my first big book tour, and I was on my way home. You do 9, 10, 11 cities in 4 days. It's surreal anyway by the time you get done. Cleveland was the last city, and the plane started to pull away from the gate. We were going to go from Cleveland to Burlington to Portland, where I was going to get off and drive home. The plane pulls away from the gate, and then it pulls back in. I'm sitting in first class, and the door opens again, and Ronald McDonald gets on the airplane. He's fully dressed.
Fully clothed Ronald McDonald, yeah. You
know, and it sits down next to me, because I attract weirdness. You know, I'm like a weirdness magnet. And I was so weirded out by that point after all these, you know, rubber chicken dinners and everything else that I wasn't even surprised. Here he is, orange hair, orange shoes, the whole 9 yards. He sits down next to me. This is years ago. Plane takes off. No smoking light goes off. He pulls out a pack of Kents, lights up.
Ronald lights up a cigarette,
a Kent, and he orders a gin and tonic from the stewardess. He's sitting there drinking a gin and tonic, smoking a Kent, and I say the only thing I can think of, where did you come from? He says, McDonald Land. And
McDonald Land, yeah.
Yeah, right. So I say, is this no, really, where'd you come from? And he had come from McDonaldland, which is a real place in Chicago. And he was going to open a McDonald's in Burlington, Vermont. But you talk about surreal.
Sure.
40,000 feet with Ronald McDonald. And you think, what if this plane crashes?
Yeah.
I'm going to die next to a clown.
A drunken one, too, yeah.
You don't know what it's like.
That's right.
I have to ask you this, because I'm from Boston. I know that you're have been a lifelong Red Sox fan.
Right.
And you always, I remember you talking about this. You were famous for saying that you were so convinced that they were never going to win the World Series that you were actually going to put something to that effect on your gravestone. Is that right?
I was going to have a gravestone that said, "Not in my lifetime."
Right.
But somebody sent me a T-shirt at the end of last year that said, "Now I can die in peace."
That's very nice.
Which I thought was really nice, and I'm going to wear that T-shirt, but hopefully I won't die for a long time. And I can see that happen 2 or 3 more times. It doesn't look that good this year right now, but...
Yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, are you one of those people who's just, like, happy now that it happened? You know, I don't need it to happen again this year. You don't need the Red Sox to do it this year.
Now, would you feel that way about your first sexual experience? Oh, well.
Yeah.
It happened.
Actually, the way it went down, yes. Yeah.
But it wasn't
Exactly
that
how
way
I felt,
with the
yeah.
Red Sox.
Then later on, when I was in my 50s. Well, the Colorado Kid is going to be in stores on October 4th.
It's little, but it's powerful.
Yeah. Relates to what we were just talking about, yeah. It's getting dirty fast. I'm going to commercial. And this weekend, Stephen's going to be at the New Yorker Festival right here in New York City. Real thrill. Thank you so much for being here. Always great. Stephen King will be right back with Nickel Crate.